Well, apologies for that slight technical glitch that just had Peter Borren's thoughts on Namibia as changes interrupted. Let's go back to him. Ajit Agarkar is here as well on T20 timeout. Peter, no Jan Freiling, who's been excellent for them with ball. How do they cope with that? That's a pretty big miss, you think?
Big miss. He's been really really good, hasn't he? It's not just the fact that he's got some wickets, as you can see there in that list, the top wicket taker actually, but it's also the fact that he's managed to keep his economy down. I think he's a very clever bowler, innocuous, seemingly innocuous, but uh, coming over the wicket, round the wicket, that left arm angle, the cutters he bowls, they're going to miss him big time. I already thought that before him being out, that they're definitely a bowler short, haven't they? They have been. That's been exposed. When they don't get the early wickets from Trumpelman, we saw Pakistan the other day. They didn't go very hard in the power play, and Trumpelman was perhaps a little bit unlucky with the new ball. But if they don't get those early wickets, they get exposed, and they got exposed late against Pakistan with that fourth, fifth bowling option. And so, with 24 off the last over, they're certainly going to be. If New Zealand, if they don't lose early wickets, then Namibia are going to be under the pump later in the innings, because they're going to miss Jan Freiling, and they're going to need Lofty Eaton, who bowled pretty well two games ago with his leg spinners. He's going to have to bowl well today, because yes, with Visa and Trumpelman, your bankers, no Freiling. Well, they could be in trouble if they don't get those early wickets.
Player that's not available because of dehydration tells us something about the toll this part of the world's taking on some of the players now, Ajit.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I know they played in the evening, so the other night. So I was a little bit surprised. I think afternoons, obviously, evenings have gotten better, but you're playing sort of games are coming thick and fast, and if you don't recover enough, if you have an afternoon game followed by evening one, it can take its toll, and it is the sort of heat that can quickly get to you. We saw Martin Guptill struggle to
Yes.
run in the previous game as well, so it can. It is a bit unfortunate that you lose a key player.
Yeah, absolutely sapped was Martin Guptill as that innings went on. I think New Zealand cricket put out a tweet saying that he'd lost 4 kilos as a result of that innings. Remarkable. Tells you something about the toll it's taking on the players. So we wish them full health at this point. But let's talk about New Zealand's, well, let's call them issues or let's concerns, pieces of the puzzle that haven't come quite together quite yet. Adam Milne's inclusion was one that came as a result of Lockie Ferguson's injury. And we had Tom Moody, who said that he would have wanted Milne to start from the very beginning. I think Maila Jayawardene echoed that sentiment too, watching Milne be the leading wicket taker in the 100. He went for a few the other night as well against Scotland, Ajit, and he lost his place for the Mumbai Indians too, even though he started the campaign. He's got a lot of skill sets, but why is a bowler like Adam Milne not quite having that sort of impact this year in this World Cup in the Super 12s?
Again, small sample size, isn't it? It's sometimes the one of the things that he's not done is open the bowling, because Saudi's there and obviously Trent Bowl both swing the ball. He's not opened the bowling, so he's perhaps had to come and bowl at a different stage of the innings where you could run into a batsman who's set, the ball's not doing quite as much, and you have to bowl differently. But I think he's got great skill sets. We've seen it before playing in the IPL as well. When he gets it right, he can pick you wickets. Yeah, those numbers might be a little bit concerning, but at the moment, more cricket under his belt can only be good for New Zealand coming into the business end. So, is there a reason why he's not? He'd probably like to get a few more, clearly. But I don't think that's just too few overs to say whether he's bowled well or not. It just could depend on the situation of the game. I think he just does make that attack formidable. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, Namibia, yes, Peter, please.
Yeah, I just wonder if you look at those numbers for Adam Milne and you look through his spells in this tournament. You saw Rohit Sharma had a bit of a crack at him, and the other day after bowling a maiden first up, Matty Cross hit him for 5 fours in a row, and in his second over. There's something about some fast bowlers, and this happens. Adam Milne's strength is to run in and hit the top of off stump at raw pace with the back of the length on these wickets particularly. I just wonder, after he's gone for one or two boundaries, where he's going next. Because we saw against Cross, he went the short ball a couple of times. He went to slower ball, knuckle ball that he pitched up. That went for four as well. And the same against India when he went for a few in that first over, went for 15, came back very well in that innings. But sometimes with a quick bowler, they just can can go away from their absolute strength when they think the bat is going to come hard, and that's when you give them the boundary opportunities. And in those two spells that I've seen, there has been a little bit of that sort of thing from Adam Milne, where he's under the pump and you think, well, what's going to come next? Where really, and bowling high pace, just back of a length and make nice and tight to off stump, it's not easy for any batter. So I just wonder if he gets under the pump a little bit, what he goes to, and he should go back to what he's best at, in my opinion.
Fair enough. It is something for Milne to figure out. It's a small sample size, like Ajit says, and he will be bowling second, but David Wiese will be bowling first. Now, is that Namibia's best chance, Peter? They let the game just go away from them against Pakistan. We thought 140, 150, maybe even 160, and they'd be interested. Will David Wiese play a different role today? He's been their best player in this tournament in the absence of Freiling. Does he get a different sort of role with ball? And what sort of number do you think Namibia would want to keep New Zealand down to stay in this contest?
Yeah, well, we've seen Namibia throughout this tournament rely heavily on Erasmus and Wiese, JJ Smith in that middle order, and we've talked about it in the Namibian games, that they've sort of not gone too hard and given themselves a chance at the back end, because you've got that power in Wiese and JJ in particular, and he's had an excellent tournament, hasn't he? As you see here, I think what will they be comfortable chasing? Well, at Sharjah, you wouldn't want to chase more than 150. Are they capable of keeping New Zealand to 150? The only real chance of them doing it is securing wickets, because as we've seen with the depth in bowling, Namibia, they don't have the depth. David Wiese is a huge part of this team with bat and ball. His 4 overs, you expect, won't go for too many, but will they get the wickets early? That's the key. Can they get a couple of wickets early? If they don't, then that Wiese role later on becomes almost impossible with the bat. And if he can come in and they need, even if they need 80 off the last 10, and he's at the crease, then they're every chance. And that's the position that Namibia will be looking to get themselves into. But once that chase gets up, like it did the other night with Pakistan, when it gets up to that 170, 180, then they have to go a little harder earlier, which is not their game plan. It puts more responsibility on Wiese to not just make 50 off 30 balls, but he suddenly has to go out there and make 70 or 80. Yeah, it's going to, I think this whole game hinges particularly on this power play from New Zealand. If Namibia are going to have any chance, they're going to have to get Conway, Williamson in there early. They're going to have to keep that run rate down early so that they can be possibly chasing that 150 mark where they have a chance, Namibia.
Yeah, you think 150, Ajit, from what you've seen of Namibia's abilities with bat, and they're probably going to have their best 20 overs, not let the advantage go the way Scotland did the other day.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we don't quite know what the score is. Sharjah, there have been some of the games that it has played a lot better than the IPL. But 150, I think anything over that, then it starts getting into tricky territory, whether it's a good pitch or not. You would think that the New Zealand bowling would back themselves to then defend that. So ideally, anything under 150, Namibia will be quite happy with. If it's a tough pitch, something under 140 or even 130 is somewhere there. We've seen in the IPL how tricky it can get. So, but if on a good pitch, anything over 150, I think New Zealand will start to look the favourites.
All right, fair enough. I just hope that Namibia is still in this at halftime, right? Not having to chase 190, 200 maybe. But let's see how things go. Peter Borren, Ajit Agarkar, players already out there. So let's pick up the chat in 20 overs time. It's a group where you think that the cricketing logic should prevail and New Zealand should go through. But if we are to have an upset, it could come today. It could come over the weekend when New Zealand play Afghanistan. So keep an eye out in every game. Don't let your guard down, because New Zealand certainly can't afford to. Join us at halftime on Maruti Suzuki Presents ESPN Cricket for T20 Timeout, powered by Dell.
Maruti Suzuki's People Technology presents Suzuki Connect with Navigate to Car and many other features.
Watch more, feel more. Dell.